to really close. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right there when I need her.
What's up, YouTube? This is S
and T
Faction. Alright, and we're back with another video. And this video here is just telling a little bit more detail about what was going on. We alluded to our viewers, our S&T crew, that, you know, there were some things that are going on, and we're just going to elaborate a little bit on that. Tiffany was talking about how you know, she had actually gone through some changes, and I will be going through some similar changes. So we just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that. So I'll let Tiff take it away and kind of get this thing started, and then we'll just go from there.
Alright, so last year I went through some changes. Well, throughout this year I've gone through some changes. But what led me up to this, and I'll get to it in a minute, I went on a cruise. It was November of 2015,
I believe.
Yeah,
it was
2015. At that time, I was at my heaviest weight. I was 350 pounds. I went on this cruise, and I realized that being on this cruise, I noticed how much I ate, which, granted, when you go on a cruise, there's food every corner that you turn. And then also, not only that, this cruise ship had mirrors. Everywhere I turned, there were mirrors. I had never, let me not say I had never, I had always, you know, tried different diets and stuff like that. And you know, I wouldn't stick to them, or, you know, I would stick to them and I didn't really lose a whole lot. So anyways, when I was on this cruise ship, like I said, looked in every mirror that I came in contact with, and I was getting ready for a formal dinner that night, and I went out of the room, and, you know, the gown was beautiful, but when I seen myself in the mirror, in a full-length mirror, I was like, oh my God. You look awful. I know that Shan, you know,
always been beautiful to me.
And I get that. Like, I mean, I never seen myself as ugly.
Just looking
I never seen myself as ugly. I always thought I was, you know, a beautiful big girl. And yes, I had some self-confidence issues with my weight, things that I would wear, you know, stuff like that. But it wasn't until that cruise when I really realized how big I actually was. So I made a promise to myself on that, when I got off that cruise, that I would make some changes in my life. So that was in November. December, I quit smoking. And in January, I had my very first consultation with a weight loss surgeon here in Huntsville, Alabama. I had decided that, you know, I needed to have the gastric sleeve. So I went through the process. My insurance, it was like 3 months worth of stuff. I ended up having my surgery May the 9th of 2016. When I went into surgery, the starting weight was 350. When I went into surgery, I think I was like, I had lost like 23, maybe 23 pounds. Because I did a pre-diet prior to that. Anyway, so in the last, 10 months, 11 months? I guess it's about 10 months.
About 10 months.
I have lost 146 pounds. And I am very proud of that. And I would be lying to say that, you know, I completely followed the diet and this, that, and the other. I've cheated. And I still make mistakes. But I do not gorge like I used to. I can't. My stomach can't hold it. If you can imagine how big somebody's stomach is, average stomach is probably about this big. My stomach was a little bit bigger than that when they cut it out of me. And my stomach now is probably a little bit smaller than this pill bottle. It can only hold about 3 ounces of food at a time now. And so that was my journey. Prior to that, you know, like I said, I never thought that I was ugly. I just knew that being big and healthy is not a reality. I had to make changes, because if I didn't, I would end up developing diabetes, high blood pressure, you know, bad knees, etc. that comes with being overweight. But I felt like with some of the health issues that Shan has, that this would be a really good option for her. And I think that she needed to see me go through it, and see that I'm okay, that I'm not, you know, gaining my weight back, or I'm not dead, or, you know, anything like that.
Hopefully not.
Well, I'm just saying, you know.
She's a ghost, y'all.
But I think she needed to see me go through it before she decided that she needed help. So I'm going to kind of let her explain her situation and into why she has decided to go the same route that I had. Well, almost the same route that I had. She's having a little bit different surgery than I did. But anyway, so I'll let her explain to, you know, why.
All right. Okay. Well, like she said, you know, we were big and beautiful. You know, that was us, big and beautiful. You know, we would just, you know, do everything together, laugh together, talk together, and we also ate together. We ate a lot together.
We did.
And, you know, we would have these, I don't know, late night snack sessions with somebody say, hey, you know, I got a taste for something. And the other person say, yeah, what's that? And we name about 5 or 6 different things. And the other one say, okay, let's do it. And we loved it. You know, I was good with greasy lips. You know, so, I mean, that's kind of the thing that, you know, one of the things that we did together. So, you know, when she went on this cruise and she decided, you know, that it had just become too much for her, you know, I paid attention, and I was very supportive in the fact of, you know, I want you to do what you need to do to be okay with yourself, you know, and that was kind of my big thing. And I had been with a couple of people in my past that had had the weight loss surgery, and I never really thought that the surgery was the right option for me. And, you know, I always felt like, you know, I've always been big. I've always been mobile, you know, 6 feet tall, so my weight carries a little bit different. So I never looked as round as some other people looked, you know, in their clothing, or even out of clothing. But, I mean, you know, I never looked that round. You know, people always said, you know, you kind of, you know, carry your weight well. So that's kind of where I was. And it wasn't until I started really having issues with my back. You know, I had my first back surgery in 2010. I was kind of able to recover from that surgery in a sense. And, you know, I tried to go back to work. I went back to work for a while, you know, and I was doing things, being active. My job was one of those ones where it was a lot of up and down. You know, you had moments where you sat down, but, you know, also there's a lot of times where you just kind of stood up and you were just kind of on your feet the majority of the day. And I also coach football, you know, for my son's team, you know, just doing, you know, everything that I knew as far as, you know, just regular stuff. And then at some point, you know, something happened and I just was not able to do the things that I was once able to do. And before I knew it, I was using a cane. And I used a cane before when I had my surgery back in, you know, 2010. Before that, I had went from a cane to a walker to a wheelchair. And I was actually partially paralyzed, you know, prior to that surgery. And here I was again with that back pain, constant irritation, and unable to really get around like I was accustomed to. I had started using a actual cane all over again. And so it's like, okay, this is going backwards. And I realized that, hey, nothing's going to get solved by, me just going to the chiropractor, which, I was loving my chiropractor, at the time, shout out to Dr. Land. So it wasn't anything that he wasn't doing. It's just that, sometimes people have issues in their back. I knew that I was suffering from degenerative disorder and spinal stenosis as well. I decided to go ahead and have surgery in 2014. And I had that surgery, and I actually went into the surgery walking. And when I woke up from that surgery, I was unable to use my legs at all. So I went in walking, came out not walking. I had to go to a facility to get physical therapy to actually even get myself up on a walker to walk again. And, fast forward, almost 3 years later, I'm still using that walker. So I cannot be active the way that I need to be. So I can't be out there with my family. I can't do, a whole lot of different things that I would love to do. Sometimes just basic maintenance, getting up and getting started is a hard thing to do, at that point. So what I decided, at that point was nothing. I was just going to see if it will just kind of work itself out. And years, are progressing and going by, and nothing's happening. And on top of that, now that I can't actually move around, I'm starting to gain even more weight. So I'm gaining this weight, and I'm, about as heavy as I've been in my later adult years. And I just find that it's a miserable existence. I mean, it's been miserable. Tiffany has been there throughout, everything. If it were not for her, there are just certain things that, I just would not, have. I can't even go cook and, and fend for myself, yet alone do anything that I need to do with our children. So I started really just kind of trying to, pay attention to the signs and, the things that I needed to do to help myself. And I had kind of got into a depressive state, and I got angry, and all these different things were happening to me, and I just couldn't understand, not to mention the health issues that I already had that were, that are slowly worsening. Borderline diabetic, fibromyalgia, having issues with high blood pressure. My blood pressure is very hard to control at this particular point in time. I take 6 different blood pressure medications. My body just aches all day long. I have carpal tunnel. There's so many different things that are going on with me right now. The list is almost too long to tell you guys about. But what I want to do is I want to get better. So I've gotten to the point now where I'm just like, okay, it's time for me to make a decision. It's time for me to make some changes. Tiffany went through her process, and now I'm in the process of going through mine. So I have to lose about 40 pounds before I can have the surgery. I'm also in a 3-month waiting period before I can actually do that. I have gone through some preliminary testing, and I am meeting with a nutritionist once a month, trying to work on my eating habits, my drinking habits, and different things like that.
Not alcohol.
So just no alcohol. I'm not a lush. So but just how you eat and mix food with drink and that type of deal. So I'm just kind of working on me in that aspect, and trying to get myself prepared for having a gastric surgery. And so Tiffany, she had the gastric sleeve, and I am going to actually have the gastric bypass. And I decided on the bypass versus the sleeve due to the heartburn that I experienced. I have something gastric, but it's basically irritation of your gastric lining. And that was confirmed in the endoscopy that was actually done very recently. And so everything that I eat irritates me. And it doesn't stop me from eating, but it's getting to the point where there needs to be some type of proactive resolution. So I'm going to have the surgery. There has not been an official date set yet, but I kind of wanted to just give you guys a background of, what I'm going through and what Tiffany has gone through. And so, as the, days go by and, you start looking and say, hey, Shanna's starting to look a little bit, small, or some folks might say I'm starting to look a little bit sickly, or whatever the situation is. It's about me getting control over my health and trying to get back on an even keel. I cannot walk, I have knee problems, different things like that. So losing this weight is first and foremost, what I need to do in order to start to right this ship. And I recognize that, me putting on this weight didn't happen overnight. And, everybody, goes through their period, and puts on their weight, their way, their time. But I'm very, I guess, to the point where enough is enough. I've got to do something. I'm getting older. I don't move because of other limitations physically. So I'm going to need this actual help to start getting that weight off. And then once some of the weight starts to come off, my hope is that I'm able to move, get around better, feel better, breathe better, get rid of the mask that I have to wear for sleep apnea. There's so many different reasons, just to be able to play with my kids, to take my wife on a date, just to be able to do some of the smaller things that a lot of people take for granted. I still have a desire to do those things. I'm getting older, but I ain't dead, and I ain't that old. So I want to make sure that I'm giving the best of myself to my family that I can. And so I just wanted to kind of drop this little video so that, you guys understand and see that, this is what's going to be the process for me heading down the road. Of course, that's kind of where we are at this point. When it gets closer, we will definitely keep you guys in the loop. S&T crew is very important to us. We want to make sure that you guys, know what we know. And, as soon as we know any coming changes, or if surgery is about, then we will kind of get there. But that's why a lot of the vlogging is when it's actually going places is going to be mostly Tiffany right now, because she's the one that's able to get out and actually do things. And so we'll change as that comes up. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm probably sure that there's going to be people that watch this and be like, oh, that's the easy way out. And what I have to say about that is everybody's different. Some people can go to the gym, some people can diet, and they can do all of that. And let me just say this. When you have the surgery, there is a change that you have to make. I mean, you have to abide by the diet that they give you. Now, like I said before, yes, I have cheated. Now, the difference between mine and Shan's surgery is Shan's stomach is going to be a lot smaller than mine, and her intestines are actually going to be rerouted, to where mine was actually just cut. My stomach was just cut and taken out. So some of the things that she may experience, I didn't experience. I can only count on one hand how many times I actually got sick, and it wasn't because of something I ate. I think it was just the way that I may have ate too much. And with her gastric bypass, there are things that are going to make her sick. If I'm honest about it, I kind of wish that I would have had the gastric bypass so that I could experience that sickness, because it is what they call dumping syndrome. And your heart races, you sweat, you get sick, you may be throwing up, or it may be coming out the other end. I know too much information, but it just gives you a visual of what she may go through. And had I went through any of that, I probably wouldn't be cheating, every once in a while on my weight loss, or, throughout the day or whatever. And I also, it is a change in your diet. So as anybody that goes to the gym or watches what they eat, they also have to have a mindset change. The same with people that have weight loss surgery. It is hard. It's not easy. There are a lot of issues that you go through. Shan can tell you, I have cried. I have, been upset because, whatever the reason may be, as far as psychologically, I know that I've lost all this weight. I know that I can see it in pictures when I compare them from when I was bigger to now. But when I look in that mirror, I still see that fat girl. I still see her, and I'm probably always going to see her because that's all I've ever known. I've always been overweight. Even as a child, I was overweight.
Me
so
too.
I don't know what it's like to be smaller. I do know that it feels good. I do know that I have energy. I do know that my features and stuff like that have changed. I do know that I enjoy the fact that I'm in smaller clothes. But I still see myself sometimes as a big girl. And I don't think that'll ever change for real. But what I do want to say is, when Shan and I got married, even when me and Shan first got together, I was committed to this relationship. I already knew that, when we first got together, that she had some medical issues. I already knew that. But when you're in love and you truly love that person, you stick with them through thick and thin, regardless. And now that we're married, that's even more sacred to me because we are married and I took those vows. It's not, I have had people say, I don't know how you deal with it. I don't know how, you deal with the fact that you have to do everything. And if it was me, I wouldn't stay. And what I tell those people are because some of them are married and they are straight couples, I don't feel that they look at our marriage as like their marriage or whatever. And I just tell them it's the same vows that you took. The only difference is that she's a woman. So you're telling me that if this happened to your husband, you would walk out on? No, I would hope not. I mean, that's awful.
Well, some people are like that,
and
though. Some people are like that. Some people can't handle it when it gets tough. They get going, but that's not us. And I'm lucky. I'm extremely lucky to have her in my life. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Well, and I'm extremely lucky to have her too. There's just because she can't do things doesn't mean that she can't show me a good time or, that she loves me or, whatever the situation may be, just because she does. And I know that I'm appreciated for the things that I do. And I know that when she is able, that she'll take care of me. And we can go on our first vacation together because we've never been on a vacation together. Well, okay.
We went on one.
I mean, like to somewhere just us, not visiting family, not nothing like that. I'm just saying
we've
just
gone
us.
on one. Mm-hmm.
Where?
We went to Florida.
Oh, I take that back. We did go to Florida. When she was walking, we did go to Florida for a weekend for my birthday. I take that back. But to actually be able to go and enjoy it and not have to worry about a walker or her feeling like she's a burden to me, which she is not, even though sometimes she feels like that.
I do.
And I think it's too because, I work night shift. So when her doctor's appointments come up and stuff, it's like, I've just gotten off work. I'm not in the greatest mood, and I probably make her feel like she's a burden, and I apologize for that. That's not what it is. I'm exhausted.
It's horrible, but not the way that she acts, but it's just horrible that, I have to ask those things of her, and that's how I feel personally. But I know that she loves me, and I know that she do it,
I absolutely do. And, and I'll do, if I have to do it to the day, something happens to you or something happens to me, that's what I'll do. Because those are our vows. And yes, I know that I've been married once before, but that was a different situation. And I can honestly say that I was not in love. I didn't know what love was until I met Shan. And so anyways, yeah, that's just a little bit into what's going on and why you will see me out more than you will see her out vlogging, outside of this room. We will do a day in the life of Shan eventually here, maybe in the next week or two, and we'll post that out so that y'all can see that, you know, it is not easy, and what I have to go through and what she has to go through, and also maintain my job. So yeah, I'm excited to, you know, let y'all in on our life. I think this is a really big step for Shan because she is very private, and we even get into a little bit of scuffles because she thinks that, you know, there's certain things that I guess I shouldn't say or whatever, and I'm very open. But at the end of the day, she knows who I am. She knows how I am, and you know, we love each other regardless of our little flaws. I think she's too quiet sometimes, but this is a big, what I was getting at is this is a big step, I think, for her, allowing y'all into our lives, and getting to know us and the things that we deal with on a daily basis. And by no means is it easy. You know, it is not easy. But at the end of the day, this is the love of my life. And regardless of what happens in our life, I'm going to be here, and I'm going to do what I need to as a wife, as a mother, as a friend, as a partner, as a lover. Just, you know, my kids and her are my world, and I got to take care of them. And I know that if I was in her situation, she would do the same for me. And so we are working on getting her disability. It's, of course, Alabama sucks with all that because we applied.
It's a battle.
And even with the laundry list of things that she has going on, they've denied her. So, of course, you know the process. We've had to get an attorney. And so here recently has been a struggle because it is, you know, it's just my income coming in. And so I know at the end of the day that the Lord is going to bless us and we're going to be okay. So, yeah. I'm excited for y'all to go on this journey with us. And again, I just want to say, always at the end of my videos, love one another and equality for all, and we're all human.
That's right. Thank you for taking your time to look at this video. S&T crew, we love you. We can't wait to get more of you. You know, like I always say, comment. If you have a question, please ask. Don't hesitate. We're here for you. And until the next video, this is S&T. We're going to sign on out on you, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day. All right.
Love you.
Peace.
Not really close. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right there when I need her.